Okay. Good afternoon, guys. My name is George Sandman. I'm the founder of Growth Drive, and we are going to do a preview of upcoming events that are available to you guys as business advisors. So Growth Drive is a playbook for building a thriving advisory business. And our mission is to invest business advisors with knowledge, tools, and support you need to deliver killer client results, right? Deliver client wins. And we're going to focus on the knowledge, the tools, and the support as we talk today. So the Growth Drive is a coordinated program. It starts with a launch course. That's where you become a growth driver. It's an online course. It's delivered as recordings to which you always have access. There are also several times a year, we have a live webinar where we come together and we deliver the course live so that you have a chance to interact with your colleagues and ask questions of the moderators, of the presenters. Now, optionally, you can become a certified growth specialist. That's a workshop. That's learn by doing. It's professionally moderated. I'm one of the leaders of that workshop. It's 2 days. We'll talk about that in detail. It's immersive, and people absolutely love it. 5-star reviews. Growth drivers and certified growth specialists are part of a community, and in that community, you can get support. You can, there's online forums, peer groups, master classes, live events. There's a ton there, including workshops on writing effective proposals, writing strategic growth project plans, case study writing workshops. Those case studies allow you to present your experience to clients and to the market. So you can use it as a marketing tool. And importantly, you can use the cases from your colleagues with your clients and to promote your practice as well. So there's a ton in the community. Becoming a growth driver is a journey. It's a 3-day course. It's online. It's designed for busy professionals. On the first day, we talk about the growth conversation and how to start and effectively have a conversation that helps a client understand at a deeper level where they want to go. So rather than having an answer to having a client say, "I want to grow my business. I want to grow profits to 2.5 million," we really want to have a more detailed conversation about why, how it impacts them, how it impacts their business, their senior leadership team, et cetera. So the growth conversation is critical because the growth conversation tees up execution, right? On the first day, we'll also talk about analysis and doing deep discovery on a client. We then talk about converting deep discovery into a strategic growth project plan and the 3 dimensions of business growth. I have a book coming out here next year on the 3 dimensions of business growth. It's being published by Advantage Forbes, and I'm very excited to bring that to market and get that to you guys. And then we talk about winning the long-term engagement. On the 3rd day, we focus on KPIs and KPIs that are driven by the 3 dimensions of business growth, right? And we get into how to execute, right? So we've created a plan, but a plan needs to be taken out and is really a map for a journey. And we need to have techniques, skills for helping lead clients on that journey. The growth launch course is very dense. There's a lot of material there. And importantly, as part of the course, you're going to get this, and forgive the fact that it's dog-eared, and I actually use this. This is a desk reference. It's the Growth Drive playbook, and everyone who participates in the launch course gets a copy of it. And it is packed with tools that you can use, scripts, templates, tools that you'll use as you work with clients. Let's take a step back. We want to help you do something different than the other 1.1 million consulting firms out there, okay? And what are you going to do that's different? Let's talk about that, because you really need to orient yourself and niche yourself and have a very, very pointed message in a deeply competitive landscape. And here's some data. There are almost 700,000 CPAs in 90,000 firms with 0% annualized growth from 2017 to 2022. This data comes from IBISWorld, by the way. 0% growth. What are CPAs going to do? There are 2.1 million employees in 1.1 million management consulting firms. Those firms have seen 9% annualized growth, 2017 to 2022. One suggestion as to what CPAs might want to do to become more competitive and to spur growth of their practices. Then there are 94,000 CFPs, and they have 6% annualized growth. CFPs, by and large, with whom we talk, who are part of the Growth Drive community, are exit planners. Exit planners care deeply about the value of a business, right? So how are you going to make yourself stand out in that competitive landscape? And here you are. Love this slide. You're trying to stand out in a sea of competing messages, right? If you go onto LinkedIn, you know that it is a sea of competing messages. And the way you're going to stand out is by differentiating yourself. Differentiating yourself as someone who not only understands how to drive the growth of revenues of a business, right? If a CEO says, I want to grow my business, they mean value. I mean, they mean revenues. But you are also a specialist, a growth driver who understands how to make the purposeful connection between their net income and the value of the business. We'll talk about that in a little more detail here. The premise, Growth Drive's premise, is that the way to build a thriving advisory business is by delivering client wins, delivering killer client results, driving high customer satisfaction. And you might be interested to know that this engagement timeline I'm showing on the 3 dimensions of business growth, predictable cash flow, predictable sustainable growth, and predictable transferable value, is what you will deploy in your clients, but it also, of course, applies to your advisory business. So our premise is that by delivering happy clients, you're going to grow your practice. Killer client results means happy clients. Happy clients lead to long-term engagements. They lead to referrals. Your COIs are happy. Your clients are giving you, are bringing you into other engagements, and importantly, you're staying with your clients over the long term. What are killer client results? Killer client results. Imagine if after working with a client, they have predictable cash flow. How will they feel about you when they have predictable cash flow? That's the biggest thing that keeps CEOs up at night, right? They have predictable, sustainable growth. And in fact, they understand their ability to grow and how fast they can afford to grow because you have helped educate them about those data points. And importantly, predictable, transferable value. Not I think the business is worth or I need it to be worth and therefore it will be. A lot of business owners believe in a fairy tale ending. There is no fairy tale ending. There's hard work to get there. And I'll make a point that I make often. Private equity has a proven track record. They own about 1/3 of the middle market. They have a proven track record of buying businesses, fixing what's broken inside of them, making their revenues pop, and selling them on, right? They're very good at it. Do they have a magic wand? No. What they have are killer processes. And the processes we're going to help you understand and deliver are the same processes that private equity brings into their portfolio companies. So to learn this process, you need to become a growth driver. And the next course is January 24th, 25th, and 26th. Now, we onboard people into the Growth Drive community through the launch course. The launch course is also available for those of you who are chomping at the bit as recordings. So you have access to the most recent set of recordings. So you have the most evolved set of recordings. And as a growth driver, you are always welcome to participate in future launch courses, okay? January 24, 25, 26, and designed for busy professionals. So we run the sessions from 10 to noon and from 3 to 5 for 3 days, right? So start your day, you have plenty of work day, and you're able to participate in the launch course. The 3 dimensions of growth are not phases. So on that timeline, we put them in sequence, but at the end of the day, moving in one dimension helps your client move in all 3. So when you create predictable cash flow, you create a business that's easier to run. You create a business that understands how much money it has to invest in growth. As you move into a growth phase, you now have a business that has predictable cash flow. So it's potentially maximized its value at current revenues. As it's growing, it's starting to make itself more attractive, meaning it's more likely to attract a buyer. And all of that is linked into getting to the top end of the range of multiples. So you will deploy the 3 dimensions of business growth. And if you look at these objectives and key results and think of them on a timeline, you're going to help your client understand that we're not going to try to boil the whole ocean on day one. We're going to have a sequential, organized, well understood, and minimally disruptive way of really re-engineering their business so that it can move them from their status quo to their growth goal, the growth goal that you defined in that initial conversation. So play this out. Take a business that has $1.7 million in net income. They're at the bottom end of the range of multiples for their industry, 2 to 6 times earnings. This is a manufacturing company, so they're worth $3.4 million. When you are going to learn processes that'll help you double their earnings while also moving their multiple from 2 times to 6 times. So instead of also doubling the value of the business, you're actually increasing the value, helping them increase the value 6 times. And imagine how your client is going to see you if you deliver those kinds of results. I'll take a sec to talk about the growth conversation. You know, at the end of the day, what we care about deeply as business owners, as business leaders, are our families, our employees, and our stakeholders. And those are the emotional motivators for doing what we do every day and over the course of a lifetime, of a career. Those are all, of course, driven by the health of the business. And the 3 dimensions of business growth help them grow their business in a way that is not only better for them from a piggy bank perspective, but better for them from a long-term assets under management perspective, okay? They get a massive ROI from working with you, and they also get what we call operational freedom, right? They move from a business that is deeply dependent on them every day to a business that is far less dependent on them, actually in which they are redundant, because the business needs to become immortal. It needs to survive the departure of the current leadership of potentially the founding generation, right? It needs to survive. It needs to be immortal. Immortal businesses have value, and you're going to learn how to have this conversation and to deliver those results. So the Growth Drive Playbook, as I said, your desk reference for growing client profits and value. And guys, it has scripts, step-by-step standard operating procedures, templates, graphics, tools. There are book summaries, checklists. There is a ton in here, and it's built on the shoulders of giants. So, for example, the scaling up checklist is in here. There are materials from Traction. There are materials from the 5 dysfunctions of a team. There are summaries of all of these books except Financial Intelligence in there. Financial Intelligence, by the way, fabulous. You should get a crate and give one to every client you meet. Very approachable way of understanding numbers. Critical, and in fact, in the launch course, we build a flash report, right, that is implemented weekly, 5 dysfunctions. And that flash report ties into the 24 objectives and key results that move a business in the 3 dimensions of growth. Okay, now you've become a growth driver. How do you continue your journey? There's an optional certified growth specialist workshop. The workshop is immersive learning. We get together and guys, we lead a 2-day course with about 40 slides, and we don't use all 40 of the slides. This is a collection of a limited size group of professionals in a room, bringing the sum of their experience in a professionally moderated workshop in which we roll up our sleeves and work with the growth conversation, work with the tools and techniques that are in the playbook. Okay, we work with the best practices that are in these books. By the way, you're going to get these in a big box when you sign up for the launch course. The next specialist workshop is being held on February 6th and 7th in Charleston, South Carolina. We have a few seats left. Don't worry, we put the workshop on periodically, but we have a couple of seats left on February 6th and 7th. So if this is something that interests you, I would urge you to make your decision quickly, and I'm available to help you with those decisions. All right. Certification. All I can tell you guys is that people love it. We end up with, well, enough said. Down in Charleston, we also, at the same time, have offer some master classes for people who have already been through the certification or who don't want to take the certification. Your call. And there's, of course, a conference. So let's take a peek at the conference. I'll give you a preview. So we get together and this is a photograph actually from the from the certification course. And you can see that people are dialed in, and you can see the amount of work that we're busy doing. All of that work is saved, by the way. The theme of the conference, which was a reschedule from, unfortunately, we had to reschedule our November conference to February. The theme is build a thriving advisory business, right? Your practice is a business with knowledge, tools, and support. The format is very simple. On the first day, it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Monday and Tuesday, we offer the certification workshop, okay? On Tuesday, we also offer master classes. And we're going to be doing financial modeling for business advisors and a deep look at the leading discovery tool, core value advisor software. On February 8th, there's a single track. All of us come together, people, the newly minted certified growth specialists and people who have and folks who have participated in the master classes, and we have a conference. And let's walk through what we're going to offer in the conference. I'm going to point out we have a lot of fun, guys. We work hard, and then we always have fun. Great meals. The hotel has a rooftop bar. We have a networking cocktail event. So it's work, but it's also a pleasure. And I'd like to highlight a couple of the things that are offered in the conference. We're going to talk about a new marketing cooperative program in which you can participate. It's put on by a professional marketing agency. And so that allows you to have essentially fractional access to a marketing guru. We're going to talk about the twin value gap, and I'll highlight this in a sec, and the Freedom Point calculator. We're going to talk, we have a presentation on going to market and packaging your services for value building. How do you get away from billing by the hour, get into value building, and importantly, make sure that when you bill on value, your client doesn't hear that they have unfettered access to your time. And it's a balancing act, but it can be done effectively, and there are terrific techniques for doing it. We'll have a senior advisor panel. I won the deal. Now what? That makes my phone ring all the time. You know, this is great. I've won the deal. What am I going to do now? And we're going to be presenting some case studies. One of the things that Growth Thrive does is we collect case studies from the community, from growth drivers and from certified specialists. Right? Everyone's a growth driver. And in fact, your commitment to the community is to prepare 2 case studies a year as a growth driver. We're collecting those, and we democratize that learning, that information back out to you. So very, very powerful tool that you can use for highlighting your skills, for connecting the methodology, the 3 dimensions of growth methodology, to your client, saying, hey, here's how the methodology worked in a case like yours. You can use it for marketing, et cetera. A tremendously powerful resource. Let's take a second look at the Freedom Point calculator, okay? I'm pretty excited about this. This was created by a man named Greg Maddox. He is a certified growth specialist. He works with Cultivate Advisors. He's based out of Chicago. He's a good friend. And he's developed a tool called the Freedom Point calculator. What this really gets at is a tool that helps you have the growth conversation, and it has proven incredibly powerful. We have a concept called strategic CLIs, or strategic referral partners. How do you create a referral partner? How do you identify and vet, right? Qualify a referral partner as someone that's going to have a strategic relationship, not catch as catch can, but a strategic ongoing relationship. The Freedom Point calculator helps. So just tease this out. It's a calculator that allows someone to put in their desired annual pre-tax income when they retire. We take account of their portfolio. We use a withdrawal rate multiplier. So we then help them understand that they're going to need to have, this person needs to have $11.25 million under management in order to fund their desired income. Okay, great. Can the business do it? That's the big question. Now, this is going to be of a special interest to exit planners, but it is also very important for all growth drivers, for all business advisors who are working with CEOs of private businesses, because those CEOs are also the shareholder, and typically or often the sole shareholder and generally the largest shareholder, right? So let's help them put on their shareholder hat and say, one day you're going to want to monetize the value of your life's work. The Freedom Point Calculator is really adept at doing it. I'm just putting this spotlight on a tool that we're going to cover in depth in the February conference. Okay. And then how do we educate the client about your business is going to be worth somewhere between $4 and $12 million. And what do you need it to be worth to fund your freedom, right? To be able to fund your long-term income goals. Business needs to be worth 50 million. And then there's he calls it a strategic plan builder, but it really helps the client understand the rate of growth they're going to need to achieve to hit their mark. And it moves them from thinking it's impossible to understanding that it is possible. And in fact, it's possible using the techniques that are embedded in the 3 dimensions of business growth. And if that all sounds interesting, the marketing cooperative, the knowledge, the tools, the support, you might want to consider registering. Listen, the launch course is only $1,300. Okay, that's a heck of a value. In fact, we have had, it's a heck of a value. So I've had your colleagues value what's in this book at $5,000. The certification is $1,999, $2,000. The master classes are $798, and the conference is included. Sign up for the certification, sign up for the master classes, and everybody gathers in the conference. You can combine these for only $2,959. And guys, this is introductory pricing. That pricing ends this year. So if you're considering becoming a growth driver, now is a great time to act. And registering is very easy. You go to growthdrive.com, go to the pricing page. You can get details on the launch course, details on the advisory summit and the specialist workshop. And all of this is designed and actually has a proven track record of helping you build a thriving advisory business. Knowledge, tools, support, proven process, sophisticated support, business advisor peer groups, marketing cooperative programs. It's everything you need, okay? So we just covered a lot of ground. And thanks for keeping your hands and feet inside the ride. We have a few minutes left here. I'd be happy to field any questions. And if there aren't any questions, then I've done my job. And I will say thank you very much. We're going to end the recording. And